you know, last week when we were picking our favourite players of the past 20 years, you know, to keep bring things up to date a bit, and I said, I think, you know, you picked your heart and your head, and I said, well, my heart, you know.
Oh, who's the favourite and who's the best?
Yeah. My favourite, loved Canago, loved Darren, you know, you had a laugh, Darren Curry, loved David Johnson. I said all those three had something in common. They could all get you up off your seat. Kevin Beattie could do that as defender, mate. As a defender. Beattie on the ball, running forward with the ball, could get you up off your seat. No, honestly.
Encouragement from Bobby Robson. So McCall, Walker, Buren all there. Walk to take it, to try and set up Buren. Nice ball. And it's there. And it's Beattie.
I mean, to start with, again, all these things have got a story to start. He had a trial arranged at Liverpool when he was a kid, 15, 16-year-old. Went down, apparently caught the train down from Carlisle in the north, where, you know, we're up near the lakes, isn't it? Caught the train down from Carlisle, but no one from Liverpool was there to meet him at Lime Street Station to take him to Anfield, or where is it, Melwood, the Liverpool training ground. So he wasn't sure, so he just got back on a train, went back to Carlisle. Bill Shankly heard about it and said, "Oh well, if he hasn't got the initiative or can't be bothered to get himself, you know, to the ground, we don't want him."
Right. Okay.
So he was subsequently spotted by John Carruthers, an Ipswich scout in the north, who also, amongst others, I think, found Eric Gates, Russell Osman. So spotted in a trial. Played an initial youth game away at Fulham, made an immediate impact. So much so, I think the chief scout at the time was a guy called Ron Gray, who was like, you know, one of Robson's right-hand men, who said that just seen this boy playing the trial, you've got to sign him. He's the best thing I've ever seen. You've got to sign him. I think he sort of said this kid can head a ball 60 yards. You know, honestly, it's something like that. And again, this is really weird. Made his debut in a 2-1 away win, August 1972. At Old Trafford against Man United. But again, you got to put this in perspective. Man United had won the European Cup 3 years before. All right, it was a side slightly on the decline, but he played that day against Best, Law and Charlton.
Wow.
You know, the Man U, holy trinity. I saw his home debut 3 days later. Norwich had just been promoted to the old First Division for the.
Sorry, Dave. Remind me what season this is.
72-73.
72-73.
72-73. So the first season where you know, we qualify for the UEFA Cup. The first season we qualify for it, finish fourth. He makes his home debut and we lose. We lose 2-1 away at 2-1 at home to Norwich, and keeps his place in the side there. And right the way through the 72-73 season, gets England under-23 recognition, is voted the Young Player of the Year, the British Football Young Player of the Young Player. Yeah, first time. First time they held that. I think he was the first inaugural winner of it. Yeah, unbelievable. And he just grew in stature.
Tell me about his impact, because the thing that, and we'll talk about this at the end, the thing I have trouble with here is this is a centre half that everyone's just, you know, you're saying that the scout says this is the best guy you'll ever seen. He's young, but how from centre half?
It was just the best thing I ever saw. Okay, you speak to, I mean, you love European football. When I was thinking of this, when I was writing this, and I couldn't compare him to any British defenders at all. Think Maldini and Baresi.
Right.
So think of those combined and think of a player quicker.
Right.
Stronger and 3 times as good in the air. It's the best player I've ever seen in the air.
Right.
Honestly, you cannot compare him with anyone. He's incredible. And you know, when the thing is that he came into that Ipswich side, he was only 18. I mean, and played in that. It was a settled back four then, because
was he a big guy when he was 18? Still,
he was 6 foot, I guess, but powerful, big legs, just strong. You know, and probably the strongest left foot. I mean, no, the best left foot is still probably for me is probably Muren, but the strongest left foot I've ever seen. Well, we saw that goal he scored. Well, we'll come on to that in a minute. But so he got into the under-23 squad. I mean, this was Beattie again, a bit similar to the Liverpool thing. This made headlines actually. Played one game, I think, then got picked to play against Scotland.
Right.
Okay. Up at Hampden. got on the train from Ipswich or wherever he got on the train from London, I guess. Train stopped at Carlisle, and he thought, I can't be arsed with this. I'm not going to go. I'm going to go home and see my dad and stuff like that, see my mum and dad. So I went AWOL. And that's how good a player he is, because, I think it was Don Revie was England manager then, including over the under-23s. And, normally that would have been it, wouldn't it? That would have been it for a player's career. Yeah, he said, we under, and basically he may have even got left out of the next squad, but he was straight back in for the next squad after that,
Bit of a suspect temperament?
Yeah, I'd say suspect temperament. Yeah, I think, again, we'll come on to that. I think he was just a nice, perhaps a too nice, easygoing kind of guy,
Yeah.
And then 73, 74 is when he really started to become established for the first team. Well, not for the first team, really become established and make a name. All right, he'd won the Young Player of the Year. That was our first European campaign, when we played Real Madrid, Lazio. I think I've said about that before, got knocked out in the UEFA Cup quarter-final. He played in all 42 league games, 57 in that season. Scored
57 aged what?
It'd have been about 19, I suppose, 19, 20
and
by then.
This is going to come back in a few
years. Here we go. Yeah. Scored 6 goals, including 2 at home in a third-round FA Cup game against Sheffield United, and he scored the winner at Old Trafford with a header, surprisingly, with a header in the 4th round.
Right.
I think we got knocked out in the 5th round that year. And including then played in all the European games at Real Madrid. We had a great one at Real Madrid. Played in the famous Lazio game, I believe, the away game as well. So had a great season that year. And then the next season, 74, 75, we finished 3rd behind Derby and Liverpool. And I think I've touched on that before. That was the season. If it was 3 points for a win, we'd have won the league that year. So it was close that year. Including our best ever run, all that mad games against Leeds, and our best ever run in the FA Cup, where again we touched on that. We lost the semi-final. Ironically, one of the games he missed that season was the semi-final replay, which Walk played in it when Clive Thomas disallowed 2 Brian Hamilton goals.
Right.
April 75 makes his full England debut. So April 75, 21, I guess. By this time, Bobby Moore's retired. Certainly a season before then, we didn't make the 74 World Cup. So Ramsey went, Bobby Moore went. So, Revie was in charge and basically rebuilding the team. And you could see, straight in the team, April 75. Just to say, Revie, England manager at that time, had a fairly settled centre-back pairing of Dave Watson, the old Dave Watson, and Colin Todd from Derby. Beattie played left-back.
Wow.
Beattie played left-back. Never played centre-half for England. One of his early games with England, he collided with... it may have been that Cyprus game. He had a disallowed goal, collided with the keeper, damaged his knee, which really was the start of his problems. Incredible. So 74, 75, finished playing. He played... something else about 74, 75. I remember one goal he scored later on in that season. West Ham had beaten us in the Cup semi-final literally about 2 weeks before. I think it could have been our final home game of the season. I think the league was gone. I think that was mathematically the league was gone, although we were very nearly won it. Played at home to West Ham, and he scored one of his characteristic goals. Basically, picked the ball up, centre half, middle, literally sort of our area and the halfway line, and just run straight. Just runs straight. Defenders basically bouncing. Just runs through defenders and carries it all up to probably about 20 yards. Gets in their box and just cracks it in. And that's what he could do in a straight line, basically. Incredible.
So he was a good attacking player.
Oh, just power, absolutely sheer power.
Holland. Beattie. Look at the power. What a goal! Brilliant end to the season for Ipswich. Superb stuff.
75, 76, you can see injuries, 36 games, 4 goals. So again, the games are then starting to go down. 76, 77 was the season. Relatively injury-free, played in pretty much all the games, including that famous 7-0 West Brom games.
Oh, the goal he scores
the
in
Thunder.
that. Wow.
The Thunder bars against West Brom, when he does nearly take, I think it's John Osborne.
Takes the net out of the
he nearly takes the keeper's head off.
Behind, Beattie's going on his own. Pick that one up.
We're going to win the league that year. There's no doubt about it. There's us and Liverpool. I think Man City were there, but we were going to win the league. Easter, about 5-6 games to go. Easter 77. I think we're just about to play Birmingham at home. I seem to remember. Beattie's not there. So Beattie, then you don't. There's no media. You just don't know. Beattie's not mentioned. You're not in the programme.
Just didn't play.
Just wasn't there. Transpires that I think the day before. So I said if this was Easter Monday or Easter whatever, on the Easter Sunday he was at a bonfire. This is what it comes out as. Had a bonfire at home. Threw some petrol on the bonfire as you do to
I've
liven
heard
it
Bobby
up.
Robson talk about this.
That's it. 3rd-degree burns, basically.
Yeah.
Misses the rest of the season, of which we lose 4 out of the last 6 games and miss out by a point to Liverpool.
Ouch.
So that season, 34 games, 5 goals. And that's the last season he played over 20 games, mate. I mean, now knee injuries really start to kick in. 77, 78, played just 21 league games, scored and only two games between October and March. And, again, significantly here, he's just been wheeled out for the big
Was this
wheeled
a bit
out
like,
for the big games.
I'm thinking, what they did with Paul McGrath or Ledley King?
Yeah.
Where
yeah.
it's like...
Although they could get through it, King could be... Yeah, no, you'd see
But they
them.
wouldn't play for 3 weeks
No.
and then they'd come back and be man of the match.
That was pretty much it. And they'd wheel him out. I've just picked up on 2 significant games he played that year. They wheeled him out for the Barcelona home game against Cruyff and Naskins. We win 3-0. It's pretty much the only game he plays between bloody October and March.
Wow.
He played a game at... No, he did. Sorry, he played a home game against Hartlepool in the FA Cup 4th round. So this is the year we win the Cup. Has injections in his knee to play the FA Cup semi-final against West Brom. And also the final, obviously, against against Arsenal. He's obviously superb in both games. West Brom game, who's he marking? Cyril Regis, I guess, or him and Hunter marking Cyril Regis, and obviously both of them marking in the cup final, Stapleton and McDonald, who barely got a kick. Fantastic.
Behind him, Clive Woods, such a contributor to the win. Then Kevin Beattie, no sign of injury at all, who hasn't played since the semi-final.
And you could just see it, 78, 79, 26 games, 2 goals, including one, I don't know if you've seen, 78, like November 78, he scores a free kick against Leeds from his own half. So whether it's intended, he cracks a ball from about, 60, 70 yards away and it just sails in over the keeper's head. David Harvey, I think, was in goal.
On the edge of the area, Woods and Mariner, Bates playing off the two of them. And Harvey will have that. It's in the back of the net, and Beattie scored! Beattie with a free goal!
And from then on, 79-80 is more surprised when he did play just 14 games, 2 goals, including one. I think I've said this to you before. He comes on a sub in a cup quarter-final against Everton at Goodison Park. To this day, the best atmosphere of any... Probably best atmosphere. I've been to England-Scotland games, so perhaps not. But best domestic atmosphere I've ever been in at Goodison that day. It's like 50,000 there. And I don't know if you've ever been there, but you sit quite low in the stand. And it was just a cacophony all around the ground. Unbelievable. He comes on a sub. We're 2-0 down. And I kid you not, we get a corner 5 minutes from the end. So the ball is clipped in. Gates, I think, takes a corner. Osman, I'm doing the thing. Osman flicks it on at the near post. So the ball's hanging in the air. Beattie comes in at the back post, and I'm behind the goal. He headers it down from above the bar in the net. He's above the bar when he has to head the ball down and in. His head is above the bar. So he still had spring. His knees were buggered, but he still could get up that high. That's just an example.
Tyson's free kick, headed up the near post, and then Beattie gets one back.
And then, and that's it, it's virtually it, mate. 80-81, the great season. Plays 11 games plus 6. Again, he's wheeled out for the big games. 6
really?
Away from, yeah.
Who would be dropped then? Because this is Butcher and
again injury. Yeah, that was a stupid season where I think we said we just didn't have. We had such a thin squad, so it was either injuries to Butcher.
But didn't you say Osman played every minute?
Yeah, so it would have been Butcher, probably Butcher. Yeah. 6 subs, including one, and again Panenka comes back. He comes on a sub against Bohemians Prague in the UEFA Cup 3rd or 4th round, and we're 2-0 up. I think walk brace probably. And
UEFA Cup.
He scores a thunderous free kick, which I think may well have been his last goal for Ipswich. So that season, he he plays the cup semi, and this is his last ever game, cup semi-final
against Man City.
At Man City. Again, that day, he's still brilliant that day. I remember him, corner comes across, he comes in about 10 yards out, and it's one of those headers, bullets a header in, as you say, into the ground though, ball bounces up over the bar, one of those.
So hard.
Oh, he's unbelievable. Towards the end of that game though, he goes up for a ball, collides with Dave Bennett, little winger for Man City, breaks his arm, and that's it.
So he didn't go out on his knee; he went out on his arm.
Ironically, it was his knee. Ultimately, it was his knee, but he broke his arm, so consequently missed out on the UEFA Cup semi-final and final. I mean, there's a bit in his book where he sort of says, he thought that Bobby Robson could have perhaps named him in the UEFA Cup final substitutes, and he got a medal.
Right.
But I think Robson, professional as he was, couldn't do that, so he missed out on the UEFA Cup winners' medal. And that was it. That season. I think.
What age is he there then?
28.
Oh,
mate, I'm so heartbreaking. 28.
You said for the last 3 seasons.
Barely played 60 games as that. So that close season, yeah, he was leaving the club, and he was about to go to Norwich.
My God.
About to go to Norwich, and Ipswich somehow, I don't quite know. It must have been something contractual or something like that. Ipswich blocked it. So he ended up signing for Colchester under Alan Hunter.
Right.
Hunter was there at Colchester. Just played 3 games, then went and played under Malcolm Allison at Middlesbrough. Again, picked up another bad injury there. I think a bad groin injury, and then really got the final notice to
So really,
to quit.
Dave, he was finished from that FA Cup semi-final.
Oh God, yeah.
That was it.
I think I think what happened there, he saw the specialist. I think it was the guy in Cambridge that operated on Burley's knee that did the sort of pioneering.
Oh, the cruciate.
The pioneering knee surgery. And he opened him up and looked at his knees, and it goes back to all the really poor treatment that he'd had on his knees
and
over the years,
and
injections, which, again, in his book, he's not, because he loves Robson. He's obviously mutual bloody, love for the greatness of the pair of them there. But it's almost in his book that almost says that, if it wasn't for the injections and stuff, maybe.
Can I give you a Belsterbrook Hotel story?
Yeah, go on.
Newcastle v Ipswich 2000. It's the first time Bobby had been back properly. Sat in the reception of the hotel. Yeah. Bobby Robson, Kieran Dyer, and Kevin Beattie.
Oh, wow.
And Beattie was in awe of him.
Yeah,
I tell you what they were doing. Beattie, and I thought it was so sweet, Beattie had bought the Evening Star top 50 Ipswich Town players to show him.
Yeah.
It's like, look, teacher, look.
Oh, that was no surprise to Robson.
Look what I've done. Have you got any quotes from Robson?
I'll come to those in a minute. So after that, he played under Barry Fry at Barnet for a bit, and he had a spell playing and coaching in Norway.
So lots of people trying to take a gamble on this.
Yeah, but it just didn't happen for him. He ran the Henley Cross Keys for a bit, and then in the late 90s, he nearly died. He developed pancreatitis really, really badly, and I think it was touch and go for a time, but I think because of his natural previous sort of fitness and stuff, he got him through that. Retired at 20. I've just made some notes here. Retired at 20, 27, 28. Would have been 28 in the 82 World Cup.
Right.
It would have been 32 in the 86 World Cup. He should have won 100 caps. Here's the thing.
Would
Terry Butcher,
Maradona have got past him?
Probably not, but Terry Butcher, would he have ever played for England? Would he have ever made it at Ipswich? Probably not. Honestly, probably not, because Osman would have made it, because Osman would have played right side.
This is the butterfly effect now,
It's just incredible, mate. It's just incredible. And, you can't say, how many league titles, Ipswich might have won. I mean, the criminal thing, played nine times for England. Never played at centre half for England.
Really?
Played 9 times.
Can you just speak a bit about that goal I was asking you about again?
It was a hell of a goal. So there's one goal he scores. His only goal he scores in the the old home internationals where we beat Scotland 5-1, and I think he scores a second goal. Great move.
As I remember it, there's only about 2 England players in their half.
In the move, I think Sonny ends up with Keegan on the wing, and he takes the ball
properly on the touchline.
Pretty much, I think he takes the ball from the halfway line, and he makes about 20-30 yards, and there's literally no one in the middle. And he looks up and sort of swings this sort of, I don't think you said, sort of fairly lazy ball in the middle. And all of a sudden, his Beattie's probably run 80 yards from left back. And
it looks impossible to score.
Well, it's the trajectory.
It looks impossible to score.
Out jumps the centre half out to centre half, and he's probably on the edge of the box. It's a long way out, that goal. It's not, and just connects
top
with
corner.
it and adds it in the top corner. I mean, that was him. Just absolutely fantastic.
The only support is now arriving. It's Shannon Lane and Beattie. And again, 2-0. And what a start with his goalkeeper, Stuart Kennedy. 2 in 2 minutes.
Yeah, like I said, I think the sad thing is that he just never played in his best position for England, but injuries probably dictated that. But there you go. And I just got some quotes, really, loads of quotes, incredible, and it just brings it home what everyone thought of him. Bobby Robson. Kevin Beattie is the finest player that England have produced during my time in the game. Alf Ramsey. I rate you highly, and you'll be playing for England for a long time to come. Brian Clough. I'd have loved for you to play in one of my teams. And he just goes on. Bobby Charlton, you remind me of the great Duncan Edwards. Don Revie, I want you to play football for me. And Bill Shankly, this is the one really. I haven't made many mistakes in the game, but not signing you was one of them.
So the quotes are from Robson, Ramsey, Clough, Charlton, Revie and Shankly.
Yeah, it's just incredible and comfortably the best player I've seen playing in Ipswich Show.
Can I ask you a couple more questions? So the thing I find fascinating is I was trying to think which other clubs would have a defender as their. I was thinking West Ham.
Oh, Bobby Moore
would, and possibly, but Milan have had so many amazing attacking players as well. But Baresi or
Maldini for Milan. That's why I spoke about them. Yeah, so, you can't think of many others really.
So the thing with the way football is now, defenders don't get man of the matches often. It's all about the goal scoring and everything.
Yeah.
From what you've said, and I don't know whether it's this simple, was it just that this guy was just physically so incredible?
He was.
That
He was just a freak. It was a unique. Yeah. I've never seen him. And Robson said in his book, he said, first time he saw him, he could see Beattie from that the old left half position, he called it, left centre half, could crack a ball 60 yards to the right winger. He said that sort of pass could change a game, and he could do that.
What puts him above Walk then?
Well,
because surely
you never saw Walk. I never saw. No. Okay, so Walk, incredible goal scorer, incredible player. Goal scoring centre midfield. But again, for me, not got that. Despite all the goals, he's not got that. I hate to say it, that wow factor. You wouldn't. Beattie honestly would get the ball, and you would. And Beattie's got the ball. Beattie's got the ball. Here he goes.
Is it a case that, because I've spoken to so many people about Beattie, is it a case that if I saw him play once, I would then understand?
Yeah, you would.
Whereas you see John Walk on YouTube, and you're like,
all the time. Yeah,
you're like, wow.
Yeah. No, you can't. And it's not until and seeing him on TV doesn't give you. It was just the sheer power that the guy had. Really, he was honestly, mate, best player I've seen in the air, and probably the hardest shot I've ever seen as well.
And is he the greatest player you've ever seen play in terms of opposition players as well?
No, probably not. No, that's a tough one, Ben. No, I'd have to think about that. It'd certainly be up there, but it'd be close. Yeah.
I can't help thinking as well when you're talking about it. The parallels with Gascoigne, from the north.
Yeah, it's a very good analogy. Great analogy.
Just heartbreak. Yeah.
Really good analogy there.
And another one where, because obviously I've seen Gascoigne play a lot, where you just had to see him.
Almost not a flawed genius, because you can't say that, but almost just
a tragic.
A tragic case, and almost, maybe a bit like Gascoigne. Perhaps, you go back to the Bonfire incident stuff. Had that self-destructive button, that just happened.
Had he had a Frank Lampard type approach to.
Yeah, and you can't say it was a manager, can you? You can't say because Robson. No, you can't. No, just great player, and we'll never see. Cliche, we'll never see the like again,